Hi, welcome to Beer Disciples. My name is Ross Quintana, and we're going to be reviewing another beer here today. Today we're going to do Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA. So I'm pretty excited about this beer, actually. I've only tried one other Sierra Nevada beer, I think, and it was their 30th anniversary, and I'm not sure which one it was. But it was pretty good. But at the time I wasn't into a lot of different beers, and so I didn't care for it that much. Now I probably have to revisit it, but as that was quite a while ago. But anyway, I'm excited about this beer. I did hear it reviewed by a few reviewers online that had reviewed it quite well, and so I was interested to try it out. I kind of passed it up a little bit before, but anyway, let's take a look at this. This is called Torpedo Extra IPA Ale. The brewer is Sierra Nevada Brewing, and they're out of Chico, California, and the style is Indian Pale Ale or IPA. Now the way it was designed, actually, it's called an extra IPA, and so some people see that and they think, well, what is that? Basically, the brewers thought it was somewhere between more than an IPA, but not quite a double IPA, so that's how they ended up calling it an extra IPA. And really, since there is no solid standard out there, a lot of beers are like that. I've had Imperial IPAs or double IPAs that are really a lot softer, to where it could have been a regular IPA, and I've had other IPAs where it could have been Imperial, even though it wasn't. So there's not a real solid standard for that yet. But the ABV alcohol content here is 7.2%, so that's pretty good. IBUs are the International Bittering Units. There's 65, so that's pretty good too. I thought actually it would have a little bit more, considering the background of this beer and how it's made. So, but we'll see how it translates into the glass. The malts are two-row pale and crystal, and then the hops, the bittering hops on this are Magnum hops, finishing are Magnum and Crystal, and then for the dry hopping, they have Magnum, Crystal, and one called a Citra hop. And just before I go any further with the Citra hop, one of the Citra hop is something. It's a new one from that I don't know if they owned it or they funded it, but whatnot. Sierra Nevada owns about 3 acres of this, and I don't know if it's gotten bigger. I got this from an article or a response, actually, they did, and I'll read you what they say. This was how they were explaining it, I think, to Beer Advocate in a response to a post. It says, we are using a new varietal called Citra hop. Sierra Nevada and 2 other breweries funded the research to develop this variety, and we own most of the acreage around the world, which is about 3 acres. This hop, it says, is crazy strange flavor profile, leaning towards pineapple, mango, papaya, and other tropical fruits and aromas. So that sounds pretty interesting to me. I'm pretty excited to try it out. So let's crack this baby open and see what the Torpedo has. Okay, get a little pour on. I like to go right down the center, get a good idea of the action on that. You can see a lot of quality in the way the beer pours when it's really agitated. And I like that this was a good 2-tone medium action pour. Doesn't look like there's too much carbonation, but I'm still getting some pretty good bubbles there. Nice, good head, medium-sized bubbles. Lacing is a little bit sticky, so we're going to see some of the oils there, not too much. And color's going to be, kind of a hazy honey, hints of amber in there. It's looking pretty good in the glass, I got to say right now. So on a 1 to 10 scale for that appearance, I'm going to give that. I'm going to go with an 8.5. It's almost 9. It looks pretty solid. Let's take a look at the nose here. So yeah, I actually thought I was going to get a little bigger of a hop profile from it. It's pretty solid. It's not over the top for what it is. I don't know if I've got such a huge head. Believe me, I do have a huge head. I don't know if the head is so huge that that more of the flavors aren't coming through the nose. It's got a nice citrus, little bit of pine. I just thought it would be a little bit bigger, and maybe it's that citra hop that's kind of balancing it out a little bit. If it's got tropical fruits, that could bring down the bitterness. Anyway, so for the nose, I'm going to have to go, maybe the nose will come out after it's warmed up just a smidge. I got to go about a 7, 7.5 for the nose. I really thought, based on the background of this, looking into this beer, there's a lot of interesting things with the citra hops, and then also the name Torpedo comes from a process that Ken Grossman and some of the brewers came up with a few years back, but I think it was 3 or 4 years back, but it's basically a stainless cylindrical steel vessel where they put the hops in, and they use this to get, basically, they go through this whole process. I'll read you, I made a little note about it. It says the hop torpedo is a cylindrical stainless steel vessel that was developed to harness the essential oils and resins in hops without extracting the bitterness. This device essentially works like an espresso machine. A stainless filter basket is packed full of whole cone hops loaded into the vessel and sealed against pressure. The device is then placed in the fermentation cellars, where beer from the cylindrical fermenters is pushed down from the tanks through the pressurized column of hops and back into the fermenting tank. The flow of beer in and out of the tanks essentially is what goes on to say is how they control the flavor and bitterness. It says it's a new way of dry hopping that extracts all of the oily resin without the residual bitterness of traditional dry hopping. So when I hear about that and then I see, the citra hops, this new thing, I kind of expected a bigger nose on that. So maybe there was a little too big of a head on that. I've had that problem my whole life. So it's a little bit better, but still, I'm going to say 7.5 for that. Let's hit the taste on this. I'm excited. Okay, so basically, it's pretty solid. I can see what they're trying to do with the lowering. That's probably why the IBUs were a little bit lower, by capturing more of the resin and oils and not necessarily the bitterness, in order to bring kind of a balance. And the malt body is very interesting to me here. It's actually quite refreshing, and the level of carbonation is right on with this. And the hop profile is pretty good. It's not blowing me away. I can tell it's well built, and there's some good technology here. But I've certainly had better IPAs as far as taste profile, whether extreme or balanced. I've had better of both. This isn't bad, but I've got to go on the taste. I've got to say, on the taste, I'm going to give it about maybe I'm going to give it an 8. And in mouthfeel, actually, I probably would give it a 9 for the size of beer it is. The mouth feels pretty good. You get almost a refreshing. It's hard to have something that's refreshing while it's still oily, and so this is interesting. It's just I love the carbonation. I like the body of it. I mean, it's still looking good in the glass. The hop profile is nice. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as, expecting pineapple and papaya and all of that kind of stuff. I didn't get that out of the hop profile, but I did get that it was pretty solid. The hop profile is pretty good. For somebody who likes an oily beer, this is it's not over the top oily, but you definitely get a full flavor of the hops, and so I think that's pretty good. As far as drinkability goes, pretty solid because of the balance. It's not over the top, and probably with the Torpedo hopping that they do is going to increase its drinkability. So drinkability, I will say, probably I'd go 9 for what this is. For as hoppy and oily, the hop actually builds in your mouth the longer that you leave it there, but not in a bitter way. But if you like that hop flavor, which is what they're trying to do here, this is pretty solid work. So overall, I'm going to give it on a 1 to 100 scale. I'm going to give this a 90. And I'll probably give it a solid B+. It's above average work. I wouldn't go A-. Rate Beer had it 98 overall, 98 for the style out of 1,484 ratings. I'd only go as high as 90 on this. Beer Advocate has it as an A-. I'm going to B+ on this. It's not in the A category. There's other IPAs that I've thought were much better. The Stone IPA was better. Southern Tier's IPA is more solid work. This is pretty good, but I don't know if it's fully there yet, and I'm not sure what exactly it is. Maybe it's the hop profile, but overall not too bad. Okay, to find us online, check us out on Facebook. Join the conversation. Just put in Beer Disciples in the search and you'll find us. We'd love to hear your input, and we love to connect other beer lovers. And you can also subscribe to our feed here. We're always putting new videos up there. Also comment and let us know what you think of the reviews, what you think of the beer if you've tried it before. If you're in Eastern Washington, in the Spokane area, and you want to be a guest on the show, just let me know. You can email me at thebeerdisciples@gmail.com. And if you have beer requests that you'd like us to review, you can send us beer mail if you have stuff you want us to review, or bring a beer by and we'll put you on camera with us and we'll review it together. Beer is meant to be social, so join the conversation. Anyway, until next time, I'll say if you can find this, you should be able to find this around town for around $4. It's solid, but you know I've had other choices that I would probably pick up before this. Solid outing, but it's not going to make my short list as far as IPAs go that I would spend my money on. But pretty solid if you want a nice hoppy flavor, and you don't like the bitterness but you like the flavor of hops, then this would be an excellent choice. Anyway, till next time, I'm going to say cheers.